there?
Who goes there?
Original long skinny Marga from out there.
It's the Old Raggamuffin Show, the podcast show.
Yeah, man.
With my friend, my brethren.
Bless.
Like Marga, what you say, King?
Yeah, I'm there, you know.
You good?
I live and I let live, you know.
Yeah, that's all we can do. So, brother, mad things going on, innit?
Craziness, man. Where do we begin, man? 2 pandemics in one, eh? Racism and the virus, eh?
2 pandemics in one. One of them we knew nothing about. The other one we knew about, you know? It's only maybe now it's become a pandemic because other people are realizing like, oh, it's true what they were saying.
Yeah, they're seeing the vision of it.
Some people still don't even see it, Kid.
Well, you see, in this country, more like the curriculum, the school curriculum, it needs to be changed. Because when you're teaching about the British Empire, you need to tell them the details of the British Empire, you know? Not just say it was this great empire that conquered the whole of the world. Tell the children them how they conquered the world, you know? So they can see the view and the understanding of someone with a dark complexion.
Well, it's even more than that. It's even more than that of seeing the view. In the hope of education, when people realize of the mistakes that were made before, it gives you a chance of not repeating them again. And when you can realize the repercussions of what happened before.
Well, this is like a repeat of it. When you see all the situation like in America with the beating of the brother there, the knee on his neck and etc. You know what I mean? It's like a repeat of it, and it just keeps going round in a circle, you know. And what was happening before is that like leaders and politicians, they will say, yeah, agree that it's wrong, but nothing's being done. And they wait till it cools down when the demonstrations stop, and then they go back to the same old mentality, you know? That's why I say it needs a complete restructure, not only from the police, but from different institutions within the system, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't even think there's one answer. So I think, institutionally, like if you're gonna change that, then like you're talking about stripping it right back, stripping everything back. Look how not the flag down, man. You're thinking about
revolution.
You're talking about stripping it right back, really, because if you're talking about trying to change the whole system, you have to change the curriculum, not just in national level at the school. You need to change the curriculum at Eton.
Hear what I'm saying to you, Solo, right? Yeah, you can't have a weed growing in a garden and you chop the top, yeah? Because if you chop the top, the weed is going to grow back. You have to take it from the root. So you have to rip out that. That's my saying. So you see, like, the way they removed that statue, yeah? Right?
Yeah.
Where they removed that statue, right, yeah? They have a building in Wales, right, yeah? That was run by a slave trader. I think his name was the Pennant family. Anyway, that building needs to be burnt down. In Oxford University, they have a statue, yeah, of a slave master. That needs to be removed, yeah. In Bury, yeah, they have a statue there. That needs to be removed, yeah. In Scotland, Glasgow, they have a street called Buchanan Street. Get rid, yeah. In Liverpool, right, yeah, Penny Lane, yeah.
But most of Liverpool, but it's not even just Penny Lane. There's is it Trayton or something like that? With a T, Trayton. There's Trayton Street. There's a lot of these things that are still with us. And so my point, but here's my point then. If you're bright enough to have statues, why are you then frightened to teach it in the curriculum? Either you're proud or you're not proud. You can't have all of these these portraits, yeah, hanging up in the town hall, but you don't want to talk about what they've done. That don't make no sense.
It don't, because like it's like they're cherry picking what they want the people to know.
But that's what them say. His story, innit? About history is his story, innit? You know, cause you know the conqueror always writes the history books. You know, it's always the one that wins that writes the history books.
But
you know what I mean? But But yeah, why why would you have these things, but you don't want to talk about them and you don't want to teach people about them? The ignorancy level, the ideology of if I don't look at it, it doesn't exist. It's outdated. Everything that I have to stop. It's outdated.
Solo, living in England, right? Yeah, like you look at the system and it's Victorian, yeah. Victorian, right? And during them time there, right, yeah, I was big time slaves, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Victorian ways they're using, yeah, right? You have a prime minister, right, yeah. He says black people smile like something like watermelons and Asian people look like letterboxes, right, yeah? Before he turned prime minister. And now he's the prime minister, yeah?
That's what
That
I'm
tells
saying.
you about the system we're living in, right? Now, hold on, sorry for cutting you solo, but
yeah.
last week when them start demonstrate, right, yeah, and him see the amount of people on him TV, right, when he come out and he made his press conference that day, the first thing he say, you know what the first thing he say? Black Lives Matter. Nothing else about it or anything. You know what I mean?
He coined a catchphrase, and that's all he could.
That's all he could say.
Hey, listen, I just got to go into it. Excuse me. I ain't cutting you off, you know. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I didn't put on my no disturb thing. You still there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Oh, so people can't see this. Is this recording on the screen though?
Is it?
I don't know. We'll see when we go back. But yeah, I never put on my do not disturb thing. That was all. Sorry about that. Yeah, so what you say? He just went in there and
basically like the first thing that come out of his mouth.
The catchphrase.
Yeah. Black Lives Matter. You know,
and then move on to something different.
Then move on, you know. So this is what I'm saying, Solo, right? Yeah.
Hold on. Say the voice again. How did he say it?
Black Lives Matter. Well, I'll tell you what, Solo, I've been in lockdown long enough to know how that punk's voice sounds right now. You know what I mean? Because
yeah, but I bet he didn't even sound comfortable when he was saying.
No. This is the thing. Because right now, Solo, right? Yeah. If you're of Caucasian and this subject is brought up right now, you feel uncomfortable.
Well, it's always been like that. I wouldn't even say right now.
Yeah.
Been, an uncomfortableness with that. You know what I mean? But
it's more to the front now, whereas like it's said now, right, that if you see something and don't do something, then you're part of the problem, right?
Of course.
And like that's the dimension that it's got to be looked at now, you know. So like it made me feel good, right? Yeah, when I look and I see them demonstration there and I see them rip down that statue there, and I'm looking and I'm seeing like Caucasian, Asian, and black doing it, you know what I mean? And I feel good because that tells me that it's not just us alone fighting this fight now.
No,
we have another generation that's grown in another way.
That's something that's the one thing that feels different about this time round and these set of protests here is there's a lot more people on it, man. I take my hat off, man. I got so much love and respect for these young people right now.
Yeah, so have I, man. So have I.
Because you know what I mean? And that generation is definitely closer than our generation and obviously generations before us, as in integration. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Same music. One of them are doing a rare. You know what I mean?
Like they've taken many cultures and made one, and it's called love.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So yeah, man. Yeah. I'm glad like I'm on this earth to see that right now, Solo, because the depression and the fight when man got through here, right, is just unreal.
Brother, like someone said to me the other day, I was doing like this. I can't remember the name of the company now, which is a shame. But I was doing this it's English school. They teach English in Spain, yeah. And they asked me to be a guest teacher. And one of the students, sorry, I don't like that idea of the flag on the floor, you know. So one of the students said to me, how do you manage to stay calm?
Right.
In a situation in this? He said, when you saw the video or when these things happen to you, racial things happen to you, how do you manage to stay calm and carry on the next day? And I said, the honest answer is experience. I've been doing it all my life.
Yeah.
That's the honest is experience for me to be able to to go chew and be able to like ignore it sometime or pull it up and then go chew or whatever like that, you know, is experience, because I've been doing it for so long. I've been doing it my whole life still. And I'm glad, and I pray and hope the way that these people, these young people have risen up and walking together, that they don't have to go through it for their whole life as well. But the fight it's a long fight.
Yeah, you see it. Well, you can see that, innit? You've had it all through your lifetime, you know. I said it's a fight that you've had all through your lifetime, so it is a long fight, man. It really is. Because we have to remember, right, Sailor, like 170 years ago, not being funny or nothing, right? Yeah, but then them sugar plantation, the workers were having their, if they were out of discipline, right, they was having their heads chopped off and put on sticks and planted in the grounds in the town centres in the Caribbean, you know. So that was 170 years ago, you know.
What you say, it's only 170 years ago?
Yeah, that is only 170 years ago. Right, and what I find, right, yeah, is like from the Windrush generation coming here, is like everything just static when it comes to racism, right? It's just been a static movement by the system, you know, where they can sweep it under the rug, they sweep it under, where they can move it a little, they move it, you know. But it's just been a suppressed hold down, you know, right? And it's reached a stage where like that kettle's boiling it and it busts now. It busts, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, they've always,
you look back and you think, well, boy, you see some talented black youths out there, right? Yeah, right. Even when you grow up, right, you see some talented youth and you wonder why they don't make it in certain aspects of life, you know? And like some of them, it's their own ignorance, yeah? But a lot of it is holdback from the system because they designed it. So we can only move so far, you know?
Well, this is the thing that you have to understand. This is the thing that you have to understand, learning about this thing. This is what you have to understand, you know, is the system itself, the whole thing was built with that mindset, built with the mindset of ruling. You understand? Yeah. Built with the mindset of being superior. You understand? And the moment slavery was abolished, because really, you know, slavery wasn't even, the basis of slavery was financial, straight.
Yeah, strictly that.
Commodity, you understand? So once slavery was abolished, that's when the mindset turned to racism and hatred, because these people was losing out on their money.
Yeah, they had to find another strategy, innit?
And because they was losing out their money, that's when it became a hate thing. You know what I mean? And so if you look, if you study and look at history like that, when slavery was abolished, that's when the real racism started to grow and born. And so the reason why institutions like the police force or has racism in it, or when racism shows its head, it gets excused or is because it was built by those people. So those slave owners, when it was abolished, yeah, and also in theory, those slave owners, slave traders are now out of business, yeah, because you can't trade it that no more. The government gave them compensation, gave them money. Yeah. So the British government gave the slave traders and slave owners, in today's money, the equivalent of 16 billion. In today's money. You know, at the time it's 10 million rare. You know what I mean? But you know, when they transfer things up into today's value.
Yeah.
16 billion. These people got money. So now they've already got a lot of money because they're rich. Because slavery was a rich thing,
well,
you know.
Rich pickings for them.
So these people are they've already become MPs and high aristocrats because of the amount of money they had. People buying seats in Parliament. These slave owners. So now you've got these slave owners who they're no longer slave owners, but they're sitting in very high seats of power with a lot of money. So every business venture that they started off with that money, every institutionalized thing that they created, whether it be a police or something like that, is still created by that man with that mindset.
Well, this is what I'm saying, Solo, when I say, right, yeah, the only way they can discriminate and get rid of this completely is take it from the root. See? So, like, I mean, if they have to rip up their police force, right? I think the House of Lords and House of Commons, that needs to all change. That needs to modernize. You know, because you can't have people, what's that arse called now? Rees-Mogg, right? You can't have that type of person, right, yeah, that has got no intelligence or interactive with the outside world, right, running a system. You just can't have that, you know.
Yeah, but that's my whole point, though, Marga. That's my whole point. Now, listen.
What I'm saying, like, look at Granville Tower, right? Yeah, the comments he made about it.
Yeah, but listen. Their whole point is not about it being equal. That's my thing. This is what we have to understand, you know. This is what we have to understand, you know. Rees-Mogg, anybody like that, all of them people there, anyone that's come out of that educational, Eton kind of educational system, their ideology is not equality.
It's suppressed,
man. Their ideology is to rule and being superior. So you can't, you know, unless you're going to dismantle the crown, which isn't going to happen in that way. I don't know. I don't even know if this place is for us, is what I'm saying to you. How can you have, I'll put a thing up the other day. How can you have equality in a system that's built and practices inequality? Inequality, you understand? Rees-Mogg.
Tell her now. How do you think this is going to all wrap up then?
Well, I think that the biggest winnable fight, all fights are winnable, don't get me wrong, but I think the other thing that needs to change is the general public's information. They need education. Yeah, everybody coming up needs education on these things, so then they won't be acting that way. You understand? Because if you can't change the institution, and I'm saying it's an if, because of course we want it to be, yeah. But if you can't change the structure of the thing, at least the young man or the young woman who's joining the police force can have a different mindset. You understand?
Yeah.
So everybody needs to have education. You know what I mean? Furthermore, and on the real, it's the micro. What do you call it?
Microaggression.
It's the microaggression that weighs me down more than the blatant thing, you know.
You
understand?
Yeah.
People. So for me, maybe I'm speaking from a personal point of view, but for me, if I can just walk down the road, if I could just go into the shop and not have somebody looking at me certain way and thinking certain thing, it's going to make my life a lot easier. You understand what I mean? Yeah, people need to understand that, because people doing these things, they don't even, it's so that. That's what I'm saying, that they've been conditioned in the education.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say, so that when something's embedded, it don't go away, mate. It doesn't go away. You know what I mean? Like, even if they don't mean it right, yeah, the intention is in there. So you've gone into that shop, right, yeah, and that camera's there, and you're a black man, right, yeah. You see, and then, like, if you refer to the system and tell the system that now, you've got a chip on your shoulder, you know what I mean?
Do they still use that phrase?
Yeah. They will use it. They will use it, man. You know what I mean? That's their easy way around the target, isn't it?
I thought they might have come up with a new one by now. God, they was using that on me when I was at school, fam.
What, I ain't racist, my best friend's black.
that will never change. That will never change. I see a man say that. I see a comedian say that. He said, somebody must have said to him, I'm not racist. I've had 3 black people in my house within the last X amount of months. And he was like, yo, if you know how many you had in your house, yeah, you got a problem. If you could count it.
Yeah, definitely. This is the problem, man. But yeah, it's hard, Solo, man. It's hard, but like I said, I'm glad to see the youth them just take the fight and bring it forward, you know what I mean?
Yeah, how did you feel when you see the statue come down, when you see the video?
Yeah, that pulls strings in my heart, you know. I'm telling you the truth, man. When I see that, when they pull that down, me say, yeah, when you see them start roll that thing there and they drop it in that river, and me say, look there, look what I'm doing with people then, man. Oh, I think something like 20,000 children, men and women, he fling down in the river, innit? In the sea.
Well, yeah, well, they believe that he must have transported and sold like nearly 100,000 slaves.
Yeah, 100,000 slaves.
But they lost, however way they say lost, like 20,000. Never even make it. 20,000
children, you know.
Even make it to the plantation. They're in the sea.
Yeah, so to tell you the truth, I had a bottle of champagne here yesterday. I popped that yesterday when I see that. Yeah, man. I popped that, man. In fact, I shake it up, then pop it, you know. I'm sorry, sir, but
I never know you
strings in my heart. I'm telling you, sir. Huh? That pulls strings in my heart, man.
Yeah, believe me.
It made me start thinking about from all the shit that I've gone through, right? Yeah, growing up here, you know what I mean? And like, yeah, man. Yeah, I'm glad to see that, man.
Honestly, felt like a weight. You know what I mean? And we don't even live in Bristol. You understand what I mean? But it honestly felt like a weight.
Weight off your shoulder, mate.
It off of my shoulders. So imagine you live in Bristol. Cause they was campaigning. Cause this is the other thing.
Yeah, yeah. Apparently they've been campaigning. Oh yeah, the mayor has been there since 2016. You know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because I like how him talk still. You know what I mean?
They've been campaigning to get them thing there down for the longest time. Because there's all in the town hall. There's portraits of enough of them. I think even the same.
You know what the system's gonna want to do? The system, right? Yeah, they're gonna want to put it back up. Right? You watch, like the mayor's already said they'll rescue it when they got the resources, basically, and put it in a museum.
Who said that?
The mayor, but I think he's just saying that for goodwill. But I think they should leave it where it is, mate. Did they rescue any of that 20,000?
We'll see what happens. It's only Monday.
Desmond says it's only Monday. Bro,
yeah, I think they should leave it where it is.
That's a mad move if he does that still. But people have to understand. This is what I'm trying to say. Now, let me just say that point there, Marga. Like, it wasn't a random act.
No. It's in there boiling up, isn't it?
So been campaigning about that for a long time to get rid of them thing there. A long time. You know what I mean? So don't take it as no random act. You know, and brother, I know social media is a mad thing, innit? Because you see some mad statements and things like that. But some of the shit these people is coming out with, I don't understand, you know? Some of the man. I see somebody make a statement and said the statue wasn't about him being a slave trader, it was about him being a great what's the word? Philanthropist.
Yeah, but how did he make the money?
I don't know talk about. How can you separate the thing? How can you separate the thing?
You just can't. That's what I'm saying.
No, that's what they.
Yeah, but Solo, check it out, right? Yeah, I'm a drugs dealer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I start sell drugs, right? Yeah, and I start help the poorer community. I end up in court. What do they say?
They're not. I tell you what, they're not gonna say. They're gonna say allow him because he's helped all of these people.
Precisely.
400. You know what I mean?
Precisely.
A man said that statue in Bristol is like having a Jimmy Savile statue at a nursery because he donated money to charity.
Yeah, he's dead right, man.
The exact same thing.
Yeah, man, I feel good about that, Solo. If I tell you how I feel, man, I feel good.
And yesterday it started off like a heavy day, you know. I remember me and you Fizzle there, innit? Remember me and Fizzle was like, "Boy, I'm not even on no social media today, you know, because these people just winding me up with a bare negative comment, all lives matter and all them kind of foolishness. You understand?" And I let boom see that. I was just like, whoa.
yeah, that's what it done me, man. That's what it done me, man.
smiling, put on to comedy movie, what Kings of Comedy yesterday, everything.
You got to, man. You got to. It's
first
like
time I
one of the
laughed.
shekel them come off, you know?
Yeah, it's the first time I laughed for ages, man. Put on, yeah, man.
You got to, man. I'm really, really glad about that. I'm proud of them people in Bristol for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Proud of that star.
Yeah, and there's been many a march trying to get rid of that statue there.
Because even the one in Oxford University, they've been demonstrating about that for a while, you know?
Yeah, but you know, I heard today.
What's that?
One of the funders who funds the uni had already said, cause when you know they've been campaigning about it for a while with the uni as well. And so the uni was threatened by one of the funders who said, if you take down the statue, I'll withdraw my funding. That's what I'm saying now. People have to understand the word institutionalized racism.
Yeah. It's the controllers, isn't it?
Hold on, Marga, let me tell him again now, because this one ain't even for you. This is for anybody who's watching this thing here now, you know. Listen, the man who funds, one of the people, the company, the body that gives funding to Oxford University. This is another place where people who graduate from there can go on to bigger things. It's seen as a very high Harvard, Yale, kind of Oxford University, you know, Oxford and Cambridge, innit? That them said. If you can't make it to Eton, if you didn't have enough money to go to Eton, if you're not from that bloodline, then Oxford and Cambridge, you can. One of the funder them from Oxford said, if you take down the statue, what's the man's name?
Cecil Rhodes. The guy's name, you know.
Cecil Rhodes.
What's that?
Cecil Rhodes.
Oh, is that his name?
Yeah, I'm sure it's Cecil Rhodes, I think. Yeah. Yeah, if you take down the statue, I'm not going to give you no funding. That's what I'm saying. These people that come from that system, from that educational system, from that lineage, that's what they're taught. That's their conditioning from they're born. From they're born in that lineage. That's their teaching.
Yeah, but this is what I'm trying to say. It's like the whole political system, right? The system of judgment in this country, it's all got to be ripped down, Solo.
Yeah,
because all these big judges, right? Yeah, you look in prisons and you look at the percentage of blacks in there in comparison, right? Yeah, all these judges, right? They're built in with that mentality. So when them see a black you go up there and them see a white you go up there for the same crime, it's going to be a different sentence, and you know who's going to get the longer.
Yeah, so then that's what I was going to say to you earlier. Then, is this place even for us?
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to. My children or for my grandchildren.
I've been saying that for ages. This place is not for us, mate.
You know?
Because when the weather cold, you know, this is not for us. This is not for us. Because what you have to remember, right, yeah, is them same people that we are talking about now do this. You know what I mean? They do this by bring us from where we was, where our land is, you know. And then we get treated with disrespect and dishonor and everything else, you know. You know, they're so native, right? Yeah, that we don't even speak our own native tongue. We don't even have our own name. You see, it's just a complete strip down star. But they couldn't strip the mentality of I&I people, you know.
So I understand that repatriation can't be for everybody because, like you just said, we've lost our own native tongue.
Yeah,
we've lost our tongue. So you would be going to a strange place.
Yeah.
So I do understand repatriation is not for everybody, but I think I think like you have to consider that. You have to consider that because the chances of you changing the system is very small.
Yeah, it's zilch, isn't it? It's zilch. And that's the only way I can see it being fair.
You're talking about a coup. You're talking about the army and the feds fighting with you to overthrow them. That's a coup.
Yeah, but you know you got racism in the police force, right? You know you got racism in the army, right? You know you have racism in the NHS. You have racing in the schools. You know, so like you could be spot on there, you know, so this place ain't for us. Simple, you know. But I hear a man say one time, we should gain the knowledge and take it back to our own land. And I just feel that's the way it should be. Because like you say, we're not going to be able to break this all down, and it needs breaking all down. That's the only way to fix it. So yes, my brethren.
Like
That's
I think
where
that
we are right now.
I think you have to be honest though. I think you have to know that if it's not repatriation, if you're not gonna leave this place and go to a place that's more suited to you, whether that's the Caribbean, because you have your direct family links, or you go to Africa, because that's where your direct family links is, or it's not might not even be direct. But I think the reality is, if you know that you're not, repatriation is not for you, because this is all you know, and that's fair enough, you know. I don't condemn nobody for that, you know, because that's all they know. We still here. If this place wasn't for us so bad, we would have left a long time.
True.
So we're still here because this is all we know, you know. I think you have to understand that because you're not gonna overthrow the system like that, it's always gonna be a struggle. And then that's why I say the education of everybody, of the average person, has to go up. You know what I mean? For these generations coming up. But and that is the bright side of the future still, is how you see these young people are. And there's more of a oneness amongst them. And them to really see.
Like you said, that's because of integration, you know what I mean?
So when they come up and they are the workforce and they are the rare tear, you just hope. You know what I mean? Hope that it's not gonna be so every day in your face. It's just when you come into contact with the system, with the law. If you're on the wrong side of the law, I don't know if you're always gonna be able to get around racism. Because even when you come to the judge give you more than he's gonna give somebody else. You understand?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's where we are right now. And
but if you got more, but you know, the more. That's why if the curriculum was changed, it's an important thing, you know. If the curriculum was changed nationally,
that would make a big difference, I think.
Yeah, it would, because them generations coming up there, they might not be the judge, but they would be the lawyers.
Yeah.
Sad. You know what I mean? They might not be the owner of the company, but they would be the supervisor.
It will change.
You know? We be the manager. They might not be the owner, but they will be the supervisor, the manager, and their outlook would be different. They would run the shop floor different.
It will change. I believe it will change still, but I don't know if my generation will see it. But I think as time goes on, the change will take place. Because as time goes on, with integration, it will be more and more and more till they can't stop it, you know. Because I mean, like, I look back now and who would have thought in the 80s, right, you would have seen a racing driver like Lewis Hamilton? You know, so we have made some strides, yeah, but my people need to not only make strides in sport and music, right, because that's what they seem to push us into, yeah. We need to make strides in like being like technicians, doctors, you know, big surgeons, you know what I'm saying? Professors, you know. Right, and this is what I'm saying. We get opportunities right here, but they only seem to want to push us into sport and music. Why is that?
Because it's the only thing. It's the only thing that they can't do.
Precisely. You know, like I say, you know, you want to walk like us, you want to talk like us, you want to dance to our music, but you don't like us. How can that be right?
Yeah, this next generation different though.
Yeah. I definitely think so, you know. I definitely think so. And what I see yesterday confirmed it. You know, that just confirmed to me that like there's a generation out there that in this country that is different and is not taking it, you know what I mean?
Say the drama now. You don't hear that the boy Tommy Robinson, you remember him?
Oh yeah.
You know, say he wants to march, innit?
He wants to what? March.
He reckons he's gonna march on Saturday.
To where?
In London, Downing Street.
Yeah, make him do it, man.
Yeah, but there's planned marches, isn't it? There's planned Black Lives Matters march.
And he wants to march.
He wants to protect the Churchill statue.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Tell him and Boris can do it, because that's Boris's hero and all, isn't it? That's what I tell you what. That's what nearly choked me today. Hearing Petty Patel, right, talk about that statue, right? Yeah, and I'm hearing what Mr. Churchill done to the Indians, right? Yeah, what he said about them. It just makes me choke, mate. Makes me choke. She's like a butler, isn't it?
She's a butler?
Yeah.
She's an idiot. She's an idiot. I've never... This now, I'm going to say something prejudiced now. People will say it's prejudice, but I'm going to say it. I ain't never really trusted a person of colour that's in the Conservative Party.
Well, do you know what? I don't blame you, mate. I really don't.
Really? I've always been like, really?
Puppets, mate.
Huh? Makes no sense.
Yeah, I've always been a bit dubious of them people. They're like, really?
Puppets, mate. You know, you do this and I'll put you there. And this is the mentality.
Let me take you back to the Tony Robinson thing, because you already know how much they tried to change the narrative on the protest to thuggery and them words.
Yeah, I see that.
So this is perfect for that play, to make him come there and violence erupt and then take the situation, and then you're going to take the argument away from that. Because, King, the potential of the violence is large. If he turn up there with a bag of people, yeah, he could turn up there with 50 people. Yeah? Somebody is going to get seriously hurt.
Yeah.
And then that will be the narrative for the next month. You understand? Oh, and then, because this is what I'm saying, like, to get the changes are happening, because changes are happening, you know. Them 4 police there from Minnesota, they're lock up. Whether we like the charges or not, whether we agree. Hold on. Whether we agree with the charges or not, the fact that them lock up is different. Yeah? So the fact that they lock up is different. So my point is, what is my point? He's gonna, if violence erupts on Saturday with him, it's gonna change. There's a lot of people that's on the fence. There's a lot of English people. There's a lot of white people that just have no knowledge of these things. They don't even know black people. They've never met a black person in their life, and they have no feeling either way. So they're on the fence. You know? And maybe they're not even doing great research. So all they're doing is listening to the mainstream media. You understand? And if all the media has to report, if that narrative can change drastically to somebody,
you know that. Then so he's just plotting, isn't it, to make a little trouble there. Then they can say it's pure violence.
So no matter how ignorant that would be for them to not change their point of view, but form a point of view because of the narrative that the media has given them, even though it's ignorance, that's still somebody who could have been on your side.
Yeah.
Still, you know, guys. It's only when everybody stand up and talk, you know. It's only when everybody stand up and talk that you're gonna see real change. You will see change with the people that's protesting now, yeah. But imagine if everybody did. Imagine if all them people that was clapping for the NHS turn around and clap for all of the black people that work in the NHS.
Yeah, but that's another thing again, isn't it?
But that's why the education is important to bring the people coming through, because enough of them is lost causes, really. Because in all honesty, even just thinking about what
you see, so what I'm trying to say, right? Yeah, what I'm trying to say, you got to have
education. You're already gone, really.
You got to have education with opportunity, you know. Because if they got the education and they ain't got the opportunity to strive forward in life, what's the use of the education, you know?
No, I'm not talking about educating inner city people. I'm talking about educating everybody about all of the different ethnicities that live in your country.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm talking about that education. Education with about getting jobs is another conversation. You know what I mean?
Seeing? But you see, like, do you then forget educated about different cultures? Yeah, I personally agree with that. You know what I mean? I personally agree with that. But this problem is,
sorry, go on.
This problem here, like, it's so deep, Solo. You know what I mean? It's so many things that you have to root and pull up that you wonder to yourself, how far can you take it? You know, because like, educate the youth them about the different cultures around them, like, because like when I went to school and I see a man with a little hat on his head, I didn't know what a Jew was. You understand what I'm saying? So enough of these youths to go to school and see a youth in there with a turban, he doesn't know what a Sikh is, he doesn't know what that means. But maybe if he's told that meaning from a little kid, and then like when he grow and turn into a teenager now and hits the road, he's got a better understanding, you know what I mean? So yeah, I agree with that, man. I agree with that. Yeah, change the curriculum directly.
But then, you know, there's, like you say, there's enough other changes to be made as well, because, you know, we have to do. We need to get our economy up, you know. You need to be supporting black businesses.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like,
as a phrase, you know, but it's a reality, you know. And it is something else that some people don't even realize. See Martin Luther King Jr., yeah? All of the marching he do, they've never attempted his life. As soon as he started talking about economics and buying black.
Well, it gets dangerous then, isn't it?
Your own currency within your own people.
Well, it gets dangerous then, isn't it? Because you only got to look at Gaddafi, you know? You know, from you start talk about, you know, gold and etc. and, you know, what they do, they wipe him out. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's a major problem. So
but then that, so the point of that is, maybe that shows you where the real freedom is. That shows you what the real change should be, because that's the one that they fight against. They let you march up and down the road all day long. They let you march up and down the road for years. But you see, as soon as the man start talk about economics, as soon as they start talking about United Africa and economics and making up your own money, that's the talk that they don't want to hear. Which says to me, that's the right path.
Yeah, well, that's where we've got to go, you know. Personally, that's how I see it, you know.
Well, if you're not going, I think you have to...
man.
Huh?
We have to build our own economies, you know. So, like, take for instance, right, if you see, like, a packet of flour in this shop and you see one in an I&I shop, then we have to buy it from I&I people, right, yeah? It's the same with all this Black Lives Matter, right, yeah? Black Lives Matter, yeah, but after this, are we going to still carry on killing our one another if Black Lives Matter? You know, these are the things, like, we've got to look at these things ourselves and ask ourselves a couple of questions and all, you know what I mean?
Oh, without a doubt, King, come on.
Big time, you know?
Nobody can walk over you unless you let them walk over you, you know?
Yeah. But we need to, we always talk and say unity is strength. We need to work that, you know? We need to work that, you know? Because then, like, from we start support our owner, we start see our economy start pick up and rise. And we get what we want out of life, you know what I mean? And we start to see that we're bouncing and moving forward on a level.
You provide it for yourself because you got the money in your economy. Still, I want to watch that movie. I think we'll watch that tonight, you know, the film called The Banker.
Oh, yeah, good movie.
Yeah, I want to watch that. And they talk about, the two black men that they managed to buy a bank and settle their own.
Yeah. That's a good movie, man. Good movie. But so, I eat some food, you know, Rasta.
I'm coming with some part-time thing, you know, black.
No, man, me belly. Look there. You not call me Marga. Me want to get fat and you can't call me that. What's that, Solo?
This guy. All right, and do you think?
What's Jasmine say to you? Tell her I can take her militant talk. Tell her that.
Answer.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, what was you saying?
I just said I just love you. Just where you was like, yeah, I'm going to eat some food. I'm done. I'm getting vexed.
No, my belly I rumble, you know. Otherwise I'd talk here all night, you know what I mean? But yeah, Solo, give thanks for the reasoning again, you know?
Yeah, but let me do this again, still, because we have more to talk about still.
Definitely.
Yeah?
Enough things, because I would even like to talk about the music and how it can move forward now, you know, and etc. and whatever. So, hopefully another time still, though. But,
all right.
Yes, King, bless up still, yes? Right. Stay blessed.
Bye.
See you later, Jazz.
See ya.